Small companies are about to compete several weight classes above their headcount. For years, the bigger companies won. More people, because they had more people, more systems, more money, more analysts, more developers, more internal tooling, more everything. That was the whole game. AI agents and agentic coding are changing that right now. So the shift is marketers, I would say marketers, holdcos, or small teams, entrepreneurs, small firms, solo founders. You are about to get a 10x advantage that used to require millions of dollars, 20 software licenses, and a 10-person dev team. Small teams are going to punch up and compete with 200, 500, 700 person plus companies, private or public. Public, in my opinion, even better, doesn't matter. How? Agentic coding, specifically through what's called the CLI, or the command line interface. So what is agentic coding? So basically, it's a few levels above just normal Claude code, it's a few levels above just normal Claude or ChatGPT. It's their actual coding agents, whether it's Cursor, Claude Code, Codex, AMP, Devon, and the rest. So what is a CLI? CLI is a command line interface, and it's basically accessed through a terminal that you can use from your computer, whether that's a Mac or whether that's a PC. And simply from the terminal, you just log into one of these apps, or through VS Code or through some other mechanism, and then you can start typing, and it'll start taking action on your behalf just through the old school terminal. So the most successful small teams will be working out of the CLI in the next 2 to 5 years primarily. So it would be good to get used to it now. And if you're already living out of this, let's just say 80% of the day, you're ahead of 80% of people. So why this works, the second user. Here's the problem with the web and software today. It was built for one end user in mind, us as humans. Now there's a second entity showing up to the party, and of course you can guess who it is or what it is, your AI agent. And almost no business software, at least most, and almost most of the web is not built for that user. So why do small teams have the edge right now? So big companies are going to slow roll the exact inefficiency gap that I just described above. Bureaucratic red tape, they've got dashboards, departments, workflows, meetings, but an agent doesn't need that dashboard. It doesn't need another dashboard. It needs a route, it needs context, it needs guidance, it needs years of experience. Just go here, pull this, clean that, update this, show me what changed. So why is this important? Because a small team can build these routes in the afternoon, whereas a big company has to redesign its whole stack after 4 levels of approval, which could take months, and only that's if every stakeholder says yes. So today I'm going to show you a few real tasks for a demonstration to really demonstrate the time-saving power of the CLI or command line interface and how it can actually help you. Now this is just kind of tip of the iceberg, so bear with me. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 things. 1 is going to be organize my files on my desktop. 2 is going to be clean up storage and give an example. And then 3 is we're going to clean up data to get a little bit more complex, if you will. So it'll kind of staircase or stair step in terms of complexity, which the agent can do. So I'm going to dive right into number 1 right now, and I'm going to organize the files on my desktop. So can you see the files currently that I have here? They are kind of rogue on my desktop, and looks to be about 5 or 6 of them. And if you will go ahead and categorize these and tell me where you put them and why, so I can clear out my desktop and just keep folders on here. I don't want any individual files. So as you can see, I am using WhisperFlow, which I've talked about a few times. Super helpful. It is a speech-to-text software, And I think it costs like 15, 20 bucks a month, which is really nice. There's some open source ones you can use as well. And this one is super helpful, and it saves lots of time, especially when you are going towards efficiency with your agents and just in general, whether it's with Google Docs, writing emails, could be anything. And it's meant for the desktop. So here it is here. You can see we have 7 rogue files, and these are different notes, different places. I have a time tracker on here. I have an Eisenhower decision matrix for personal in terms of when I set up my work structure for the day before the day starts or like on a Sunday, and some JavaScript. And they're all going to go into different folders and files and basically just telling me here as to where it would go. And so it's going to ask this to put this back. So yes, so you put it back to the appropriate folders, and I appreciate it, so we can organize my desktop. Thank you. All right, so as you can see here, it's starting to think, and it's going to start putting, within a few seconds actually, it went ahead and put all the files back, or to where they should go, I should say, appropriately. And then it gives you why and where, and it says done, your desktop is all folders now, no loose files. Here's where everything landed. And so it actually told you exactly where it landed on my computer. You can get more specific for the file path, and you can double check things. So this is example 1, simple yet effective and super helpful for organization. So now we'll jump into example number 2, where we're going to free up some space on our desktop, or on our computer, I should say, on our hard drive. And I'm going to ask the agent to kind of plan this out and go through some research and figure out what are like the low-hanging fruits that I can delete, basically, with my approval. And it'll give me options, and then it won't do anything without asking me first. And so I'm gonna command it right now. So here's number 2. Hey, will you go through my computer and will you go ahead and look for, don't do your normal long analysis. Do like a shorter term analysis for low-hanging fruit that makes sense, whether they're temporary files or installers or anything that could, or duplicates or anything that can be deleted. Will you give me a top 5 and why that's taking up a bunch of gigabytes or storage on my hard drive that you think would be helpful to delete to make our computer more efficient? So again, now it's going to look at our hard drive, and it has access to that in terms of files and folders, and it's going to see which ones maybe we haven't used in a while, maybe are duplicative, maybe there are newer versions, for example, etc. And it'll help with getting all of these organized and make it more efficient, so your computer can run more smoothly when you are actually including things that and running things that you actually want to run for personal or professional usage. All right, so perfect. So quick scan done. Here are the top 5 low-hanging fruit. Your downloads folder alone has 66 gigabytes, which is a lot. So we can figure out, maybe do I want to use an external hard drive or something like that to safely take things off that I don't really need, maybe older files, older folders. Top 5 things to delete. Duplicative or duplicate codecs installers. You have the same app 3 times, codecs.dmg, codecs latest, codecs latest 64. Installers are a throwaway once the app is installed. Oh, perfect. So delete all 3, 975 megabytes. Okay, so this is an example. These are installers. You don't need these on your computer, especially once your software is in applications or your app is in applications. And so there's some older files here for other ventures that I've done, and other app installers, library cache, trash. So easy 9.5 gigabytes without touching anything you miss. One thing I flagged but not auto delete is you've got 12 gigabytes of video projects. So anyway, you can kind of see how this goes, and it's super helpful. And then you can decide which ones you want to delete. So it didn't do anything. It just told me what I wanted to delete. So this will be super helpful. So I'm going to do the first one and delete the installers. All right, since that was a little fast, I just typed it. So it's going to go ahead and delete the installers, and this will be helpful. All right, done, just in a few seconds. Great, so we just freed up 1 gig, which is nice, especially when if you have an older computer, all of that matters. And especially if you want to just kind of be more efficient. So this is step number 2. Hopefully it was insightful. All right, so now step number 3, we're going to go ahead and we're going to edit some spreadsheet. I want you to go ahead and make a spreadsheet in Google Sheets. I want you to, this is for sake of an example, I want you to create like duplicate properties perhaps and some other things that could be easily edited, whether that's like lowercase first names. And you can make it up for whatever. It's not for any type of specific situation or client or anything like that. It's basically just to do an example of how we can edit spreadsheets once we have the right mechanisms in place to save us time. So if you'll do this and then auto-populate the spreadsheet in our browser. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a fake spreadsheet. It's going to open in Google Sheets in our browser, and then we're going to go ahead and show that this can basically then create what's going to create a spreadsheet, and then we're going to go ahead and, just for the sake of example, we're going to go ahead and then look through that spreadsheet and see what types of issues there might be, and then ask the agent to find perhaps other issues and make a list, and then I'll approve it before anything is edited on the spreadsheet itself. Okay, so here is a spreadsheet, and this is just a example demo spreadsheet that we have here in Google Sheets. So clearly there's some lowercase first names here that could be cleaned up. My guess is there'll be some phone numbers that can be cleaned up here. There'll probably be some maybe company LLCs maybe we don't want on here. Maybe we just want the actual company name itself. So I see a couple examples, and then maybe we will go ahead and then ask the agent to go ahead and clean up some of these other issues. All right, so found a few issues. There's certainly some lowercase first names on there. We also saw some misformatted phone numbers and some companies perhaps that have the LLC at the bottom or at the end. Let's clean these up just for efficiency's sake. And if you will go ahead and list out what needs to be cleaned up, and then I'll approve the list. So now it's going through the list itself. It's creating a list of perhaps issues that we can look at and double check. And then once it creates the list itself, we can then go back to the sheet and just double check everything. If it looks good, then we go ahead and ask the agent to go ahead and clean it up. All right, great. So it has the list here, and it says proposed cleanup. Lowercase first names, like we said, there are seven issues there, and it actually gives you the actual names themselves. Phone numbers, standardize the actual format of these. Company names, maybe strip the LLC, saw that. So these are 3 we called out while we're here. And there's duplicative rows as well, some email cleanups that I found. And we didn't go through this with a fine-tooth comb, but you get the idea. This is just for example's sake. State standardization, status consistency, active, inactive, that type of thing. So what you want to do, reply with number 1, 2, or 3 for just what you want to spot, or all. For number 3, confirmation to also strip out Corp from Acme. So we're going to say, yes, let's go ahead and strip out all of these, and let's also strip out Corp from Acme, and then let me know when you're done, and I'll take a look at the sheet. So there you go. So now it's going to work on updating our spreadsheet, and this is super helpful, especially when you're dealing with lots of data. This can get more cumbersome and more intense. This is just a simple example just to kind of give you an idea of some of the levels that you can kind of take this while it's cleaning up your data if you are into data engineering, especially with big data. Very helpful. All right, great. So it looks like it finished just in a few seconds, which is amazing. All done. The sheet is cleaned and verified, down from 14 rows to 11. So what got fixed? First name capitalized, phone number standardized, LLC and corp out, 3 duplicate rows, emails trimmed, state 2 letters, status normalized. So now we can take a look again and check it out and see if it actually did make those changes. There you go. You can see in real time all these names are capitalized properly, phone numbers are standardized properly, states are as well, the company name is clean, and then the status is also cleaned up. So isn't this great? So this is the third of 3 examples. Hope you enjoyed it and found value. And so now you can kind of get an idea of what the CLI is, the command line interface that we're talking about right here, where we didn't log in anything. And it just went ahead and, like magic, helped us complete some of our manual and tedious tasks for the day. So here's the crazy part. The same system works whether you're a one-person shop or a small team. You run something, for example, the best way to do it is you run something manually, whatever that task is, or something that's annoying or tedious, cumbersome. You want somebody else to do it. You wish you had another AA or an actual administrative assistant to perform these actions for you during the day or tasks. Here's the best part. You can do them once manually, record it, do an SOP, I guess, if you will. Then your agent can run it tomorrow, next week, or every morning at 6 a.m. if you want, without you clicking through 5 different tools. This is, of course, another video, but you get the idea. So why is this important? It's what kind of turns your CLI, command line interface, from developer nerdy terminal stuff that's dev and highly technical into repeatable leverage that any everyday person can utilize. So small companies are about to compete several weight classes above their headcount. Not because they hired more people, not because they bought more SaaS, but because the software is about to get a second user, and that's the AI agents. And the companies that learn how to give those agents clear routes, clear directions, clear thoughts, clear context through their files, through their history, through their storage, through their knowledge, through their data, through their workflows, they're going to move way faster, light years faster than perhaps larger companies still built around humans clicking dashboards. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great rest of the day.